Because we're going to be talking Jon Paul Project, and I've got the Paul of Jon Paul Project with me. I've not met you before. It's lovely to have you in the studio with us. Thanks for coming in. I think you were probably dragged in kicking and screaming, to be fair.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, Jon's quite persuasive, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he is.
Well, listen, I thought what would be a nice thing to do, since you're new to the studio, I'm going to chuck the firsts at you, so that we can find out a little bit about you. So, okay, let's go. I need my notes because I'm still getting used to this feature myself. So, what, Paul, was the first album you bought and what format was it in?
It was vinyl and it was Gary Newman.
Very good.
Yeah.
That is a good choice. Yeah. Was it genuinely? Because that's super cool.
Really?
It really was.
That's showing me age, that is.
Do you know what? Mine's really boring because I used to buy compilation albums from Woolies. You know, they used to do compilations of genres. Oh, yeah. And my first albums that I bought genuinely were things like the best soul album in the world ever. But that's not cool. That's like, I wish it had been something really cool like Gary Newman. That's ace. And did you kind of just play it to death then?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be your standout track?
Cars. Has to be. Definitely has to be on that.
That's ace. If I've got time in the next hour, I'll drop it in the show for you. Okay, then what about your first memory of going to see a band, of a gig of live music?
Me and a bunch of my friends went to the NEC and then we watched Roger Waters in the pros and cons of hitchhiking.
My word.
We seen that. That was my first concert that I went to.
You've got an awesome musical upbringing so far.
You're not going to ask me these questions now.
Do you know, we'll do Paul first, and that you've got a bit more time to think about yours, Jon, so you can make them cooler in the meantime.
I've got to make up stuff now.
All right then, okay, let's move on. So what about your first ever gig yourself?
It was in Kirby, and I think it was the British Legion, and we only got up for half an hour. I didn't even have a bass guitar. I was playing bass guitar on a normal guitar.
That's a bit tricky.
We got away with it.
Yeah, and what kind of stuff were you doing?
We were doing Bryan Adams, Run to You, and all the old gigging songs. Really, everyone was just copying everybody else. Do you
remember what it felt like being up there and kind of? Can you feel it in your belly now?
I was very rattled. Let's put it that way.
I love that. That's it. It is that thing. I can remember mine, and I was so nervous that I didn't even notice till halfway through the gig I was wearing two entirely different shoes. Genuinely.
Really?
And they weren't even similar. One was a trainer and one was a boot. I was at the corner house. I was so scared before I went on. I put two different shoes on. Anyway, there you go. Paul, thank you. It's lovely to meet you and find out about your music. I should ask you though, as well, final question there. What would be the first artist you would always recommend to someone? Who is like your ultimate go-to artist?
Paul Heaton and Jacqueline Abbott.
Oh, good choice. What songwriters. And all his back catalogue as well, because of course he's done so
Beautiful
much
Self,
stuff. House Martins,
the whole Paul Heaton scene is just, he's a genius.
He is.
He's a lyrical genius.
Does that sort of inform your songwriting at all then?
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah.
Because I always try and write with a story in it, but it doesn't always turn out that way.